Join me on my really quick trip to LA to go to Halloween Horror Nights, Hollywood, and to Disneyland for a day.
So I just did the mobile passport control thing for the first time. It literally took 5 seconds to walk through the line. I cannot believe how fast that was and how easy it was.
It's so nice to fly to LA and wake up in the morning and be in LA before noon. It really makes these quick weekend trips worth it. I bought the ticket to Universal Studios Hollywood that allows you entry at 2 p.m. and includes Halloween Horror Nights as well as one-time express pass for the houses and the rides, but the express pass resets when Halloween Horror Nights starts, so technically twice for the rides.
Life of Pets is my first choice of ride. Questionable. I don't remember actually getting wet last time, but you definitely get a little sprayed to get clean.
After Life of Pets, I beelined it to Harry Potter Forbidden Journey. And then I raced down to the lower lot because I wanted to hit up Mario and do a few things before Halloween Horror Night starts. One thing I was really excited about is that Mario is now on Express Pass. It has been for a couple months, but it's still fairly new, so I was really excited to skip the line. I was able to snag a last-minute Toadstool Cafe reservation, and I was starving at this point. I believe what I ordered was called Bowser's Meatball. It was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, so I give major props for that. But it was actually way too spicy, and I like spice, and I couldn't finish it. Yeah, it was just way too spicy. Once I was finished eating, it was time for Halloween Horror Nights, and the first house I went to is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The next house I went to is The Weekend, and I didn't know what to expect from this house, but it was actually one of my favorite houses. After that, I got the Ghostbusters s'more pastry because it was in the lower lot, and it was available early. It was alright. It wasn't really warm, but it was pretty tasty, but way too much sugar. I could not finish it. I almost enjoy the outside of the house more than I enjoy the inside of the house. This one is Dead Exposure, and it was just as good as the outside looks. I feel like this one was my favorite for the best attention to detail. And then the whole reason I wanted to come, the Terror Tram. I'm just kidding, but this one actually looked so good that I really, really wanted to go. So, funny, awkward story. I was obviously by myself, and I was really excited about this part, and I got off and watched kind of close to me again, and then halfway through her little performance thing, right about now, I looked behind me and realized that I'm far ahead of everybody else. Everybody else is standing by the tram for some reason. Felt really awkward. The next house I went to was Quiet Place, which honestly I kind of felt like it was going to be better than it was. It was alright. And then I watched Chucky, and I will say that the Chucky house from last year was a million times better than this Chucky show, and the Megan show from last year was way better than this show. The next house I went to was Monstrose, and it was one of my favorite houses this year. It was one of my favorite from last year. I got to enjoy the nighttime show on the Hogwarts Castle. Ghostbusters house was another one that they did really, really well. There was so much detail in it. Not as scary of a house, but super interesting. Everywhere you looked, there was a little something. This was Eternal Bloodline, and there was really high hopes for it. It was an all-girl house, but it was really lacking in the decor and the scares, and I don't know, it was one of my least favorite houses for sure. And that was it for Halloween Horror Nights. After that, I took an Uber to Anaheim, and it was the slowest Uber I've ever been in. Google Maps on my phone was actually getting longer because he was driving so slowly. It was really hard to stay awake. But anyways, I checked into a new hotel, and eventually I'm going to do a review on that, and I hope you enjoyed this video.